What's going on, everybody? I'm Wolf Banner. You're tuning in to All Facts Podcast. We appreciate your viewership, but be fair warned as you continue your listen or your view that some facts may be hard to swallow. We got a good show coming in for you guys. We got an array of topics that we're going to cover. But before we get to that, I want to get to my beautiful and my savant co-hosts. The lovely Nala B is joining us tonight. I also got my man Fred the Man. Yo. Oh, you're gonna have to change your Facebook name to Fred the Man. It just go. It's so smooth.
Pass.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't.
You don't like Fred the Man?
No.
Fred the Man? Oh, I like Fred the Man.
Corny.
Oh well.
Fred doesn't like things corny, so
I'll work on it.
Fuck it. When you try to be nice to your co-host. Anyway, I ain't gonna hold too much smoking with y'all, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to have to up my blick like my man John Marizi in this mug, you know what I'm saying? We got the blicks in the building. We got the blicks.
Oh wait, I ain't.
Y'all childish, man. Oh man, how y'all doing?
I've been all right. It's been a long day. My kiddos graduated pre-K today.
Okay.
Shout out to the kiddos that's going to kindergarten.
Was that the graduation you were asking me if I was going to come to?
I told you, he don't pay attention to the end of my life.
That's just not true. That's just not true. That's just not true.
Ask him to come to a pre-K graduation. There's some kids that's not his.
I mean,
you feel me? I don't know nothing about them folks. Who them folks?
He can come support me.
My man,
I needed emotional support.
No.
It lasted 30 minutes of watching kids dance. What's the little dance called? Where they be throwing their foot out like that.
Speaking as somebody with a child, I would never want to watch that.
Yeah.
I watch her do it.
That's it.
Yeah.
You just watching your child do whatever they're doing.
Now she know.
And dancing.
Now she just talking some hot shit. She know I come support her do whatever. Now do I want to see some kids? Nah. See kids like we already done went over this. Kids, if they weren't cute, they wouldn't have too many more redeeming qualities.
They don't.
Zero.
They wouldn't have too many more redeeming qualities.
They
That's
have
little monsters.
Nothing cool about kids.
Really bad. They stink really bad.
We sound so bad.
Right.
No, parents know that the kids stink.
Oh, like really like
they smell bad.
Olfactory stink.
like
old food.
Like their gas that comes out of their body.
Hold on, Fred. Do you think that I said old factory?
I did. What
did
you
you
say?
Old factory. Your nasal.
Well, you can't be using all these big words, man.
I thought I said, wait a minute. Did Fred think I was joning on the kids? Kids smell like old factory. Hell yeah. Get out of here with that little baby smell like some old factory. Hell yeah, man.
Damn, I did think that. What's the word you said?
Old factory.
Old factory. Spell it.
Now I can use a toilet. I'm not a plumber. I don't know how to spell it.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know how to spell it. Let me see.
It's OLFA.
Yeah.
OL factory.
Okay.
Yeah.
So olfactory.
Yeah.
And that means your nasal cavity.
Relating to smell.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's nice, man. I be learning shit when I come here.
That's great.
I love it.
I hope all of y'all watching be learning some shit. I hope you don't think that we just be on here talking shit like we're just some blabbering fools.
Blabbering buffoon.
Blabbering baboons.
What is up with y'all, man? What is up?
I got the blicky. That's what's up.
You see what happens? See, no, we jumping straight into it. This is what happens. This is what happens when you have a bad influencer on TV, flashing guns, doing all type of shit, done corrupted my wife.
Olfactory.
I told you not to make me laugh.
Oh man.
Oh, it hurts so bad.
Oh, we gonna get to this podcast. You niggas is y'all niggas bugging. And then the shit don't want to stay hooked up.
I got it. I think
my phone is
Let me
phone is
figure it
bugging.
out.
Hey, my iPhone been tripping too.
Really?
I feel
Man, are
maybe
you with
another one finna come
Verizon?
out. Yeah.
It's Verizon.
Is it
I don't even
Verizon?
think it's just. I think it's Verizon.
It's
yeah.
AI.
Listen,
Probably
man.
so.
Alan, Cut it out.
Hell yeah.
Straight up.
Man, cross up Michael Jordan think he can just fuck with everybody now.
Got the phones tweaking, but
What I'm saying, bro. Go back to the Sixers, bro.
That's hilarious.
They need your help. James Harden and can't do it without you, bro.
Oh, well, why you do it?
they let him down.
Yeah, we back. All right, let's get down to some of this shit, man. John Morant's latest controversy. They've been talking about it on First Take and whatever. What's the one with Shannon Sharp and
That is
that's First Take?
No, it's Undisputed.
Undisputed. Yeah. They've all been talking about it. Do y'all have any takes on it? Do y'all have anything that y'all want to get out of the way about it first?
No.
Feelings?
No.
I mean, I only feel like as a role model,
For sure.
there's better things that you could be doing with your time.
And as an employer, as an employee, you have to know these things come with whatever job you have.
For sure.
So like if you're working, anywhere nowadays, you have to be prepared for what comes with being on social media.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to use your social media responsibly. If somebody's out on the streets living a life where they don't have a job or a career to hold them responsible for things, and they can do these things. But when you have a job, it don't even matter. You can be the janitor at McDonald's. If you have a job and you're a representative of another entity, then you are responsible for knowing what comes along with that. And your social media, most of these jobs have it in their contracts, their hiring paperwork, that your social media is a representation of them.
Mm.
And so you have to be aware of that. Now, if somebody don't have a job and they live in a life on the streets, then they can do those things. But when you do have a job or a career and you are getting a check from someone else, you have to be aware of those things and move accordingly.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people on social media. What is everybody got COVID? The fuck is y'all doing all this motherfucking? We can't even get through a sentence. Everybody,
You had me laughing this early in the podcast. My asthma acting up.
My bad. You need your inhaler.
Nah, I just need to stop laughing.
You said I just need to stop. No. Yeah. Everything that you said, I've seen a lot of people on Facebook comment and share something that JJ Redick said. JJ Redick, his take on it, him and Stephen A. Smith had an absolutely atrocious take on it. For the people that don't know about it, you can go find it on YouTube if you search it, but I'll try to paraphrase here real fast. They essentially brought up the lawmaker from Texas that took pictures with guns and their families, and they tried to say that we have all of this going on, but we're trying to hold this 23-year-old who didn't break any laws and we're trying to drop the hammer on him and stuff like that.
Yeah,
you're conflating two different things. When you sign these contracts, in the contracts, they have a list of rules and stuff that you ought abide by. But since we don't know what the contract says, okay, let's forego that for a second. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about how businesses. Okay, so let's take it from this angle. There have been school teachers who have been fired for wearing provocative clothes. Mm-hmm. If you want to make a comparison to anything, I mean, there have been school teachers that have been fired because their OnlyFans has been discovered. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Nobody broke any laws, but because of the standard of the institution that these people are a part of, the institution gets to decide what they want, what they will and will not align themselves next to, you know. And as long as, the way that I see it, as long as a business doesn't infringe upon anyone's primary identity, so as long as a business isn't discriminating based off of race, sex, hair color, all of this other arbitrary shit.
Well,
what?
They can discriminate off hair color.
Well, yeah.
We haven't gotten past that yet.
We haven't gotten past that. But that's one of those things that I'm talking about. But I mean, I'm not talking about dyeing your hair. I'm talking about like blonde hair, black hair. I'm talking about like stuff like, I'm not talking about dyeing your hair some loud color. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about genuinely what your hair. I was being extreme in that example. But as long as a job isn't infringing upon those things, they most certainly have the right to say, hey, you can do what you want to do, but we aren't going to be aligned with that. And if you want to do that, then you aren't going to be aligned with us. Gilbert Arenas had a nice take where he was just saying that essentially we don't want to see what would have to happen in order for people like that to learn their lesson. We don't want to see a year suspension, a 2-year suspension in order for people to understand that. Mm-hmm. And even if something like that would have happened, you still have the people out here saying, oh, well, that's too extreme. There are two parts to it. The business side, which I kind of just talked about. And then the reason why the business side matters, why it's a big deal, is because of the social element. There were people trying to go around they were going around sharing images of LeBron and Draymond Green at the gun range. I think Draymond Green might have been at the gun range. Both of them looked like they were at the gun range. Mm-hmm. And the post said, what was the difference?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
don't be
we
reaching.
went through all these years of comparison and contrasting in English for people to do shit like that, and that really upsets me.
Yeah, I mean,
super lame.
So, okay, although no laws are broken, and this just goes to show how like little people understand. In Tennessee, it's an open carry state. You don't even have to have a concealed carry license. That does not mean that while a vehicle is moving, you flash your gun. You don't raise your gun. There have been times where in travel, I've taken my gun with me, and even when I'm unloading the gun is unloaded and I'm just putting it into its compartment or whatever, I never raise the gun most of the time past my growing area, because I don't want people to see the gun and then try to assume something else. Right? There's absolutely no reason why you should be in a moving vehicle with the gun above the window. Yeah. Unless you're about to do a drive-by, unless you're about to like defend yourself, unless you're like brandishing the weapon to try to defend off an attacker, there's absolutely no reason why you should be driving down the road with loud music with your gun out. I mean, can you do it? I think that it's. I'd have to look. I would assume that would be against the law, but no, you should not be doing that. I mean, that's not even something that you having fun should be doing. Once again, he's 23. I understand that, but it's not even about him. I'm talking about the people that don't understand why it's a big deal and why the league is trying to drop the hammer on this, along with him making everybody else that tried to support him look stupid. He had this whole sit down with Jalen Rose. The man put on a fucking wedding tuxedo. Man was sitting there in all white talking about how he was a changed man. You don't get your baptized
23.
Get your baptized ass out of here, nigga. You ain't changed shit. But that also goes into, being careful of the company that you keep as well.
Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say that I agree and disagree with the JJ Redick take.
For sure. Okay.
Because I do agree that no laws are broken. My disagreement comes in with the fact that like you don't have to make it a think piece, right? We don't have to try to compare it to a white person. We don't, we don't need to do all that. We just accept that it was a stupid thing to do. Yeah. You shouldn't be on camera doing that because you're in the NBA.
Right.
And it doesn't matter like how you feel about guns or whatever. At the end of the day, it comes down to policy. Like you said, like y'all said, it's like the business has their rules and regulations that they want people to follow, and if you want to be a part of the institution, just follow it. I guess where I do draw the line is that I think that sometimes I feel like people don't allow this might sound weird, but sometimes I feel like people don't allow black people to be black people, right? So with us, I feel like there's a different swag that comes with every single thing we do.
Okay.
So whereas you may be a gun enthusiast as a white person and you send out a Christmas card with your whole family posing with guns, a black person may be listening to their favorite trap song and, dangle their guns out or whatever. And to me, aside from the fact that the message in the music is, shoot 'em up, shoot 'em up, shoot 'em up, I don't see much of a difference with that other than that's just our swag. It's the same way as they taught us how to do a layup like this, but you know what I'm saying? Like we freak everything. You know what I'm saying? It's always been like that. It's always gonna be like that. There's nothing that you can put out there in any realm of the culture that Black people will not take and make our own. You know what I'm saying?
I understand that. Where I think I disagree is anytime you have something that requires a great level of care, I don't think that we should be playing with it like that. I don't care what type of finesse you try to put on it. That's something that when people see it, and once again, even aside from the social media element of it, that's just a dangerous thing to do. Right. It's a dangerous game to play. I don't care how well or how good you think you are with guns. Yeah. Any true gun enthusiast will tell you that's not how you do that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And the other part of it is this, that I wanted to cap my point off by saying this as well. The NBA, bro, like, you are a part of not just an organization. We're not talking about McDonald's. We're not even talking about Google. We're not talking about Tesla. We're talking about the National Basketball Association. You made it to the National Basketball Association. Most people who are basketball enthusiasts who play basketball their entire lives will never make it to the National Basketball Association. It's a very prestigious honor to be a part of that institution. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that sometimes what I see us do, skin folks do, is a lot of times we try to bring the hood to prestigious places when the ghetto is the ghetto. Yeah. The ghetto is the ghetto for a reason. And I understand that we have a lot of culture built off of that. I get that. But to me, and I might sound Uncle Tomish or whatever the fuck, I don't feel like you should bring, and it's not Uncle Tom, it's because it's not even about a white thing. I feel like even with our own prestigious institutions, whether it be HBCUs, whether it be whatever prestigious Black institution you can think of, you leave the ghetto shit where the ghetto shit was. Yeah. Like, you present yourself as a prestigious individual. Now, I guess somebody could come at me and say, well, who gets to define what's prestigious? Who gets to define how prestige should be displayed physically? You know, yeah. I don't know, but I don't think that it is aligned with the culture that we've built off of finding ways to cope with being in the ghetto. I don't think that's it. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. Yeah. With that point, I also want to bring out, you mentioned at some point his friend are going live, and a lot of people, there was this debate about who was more at fault. John Morant for brandishing the weapon, or the company that he was in. Ja. And I just kind of wanted to get y'all's opinion on that, because there were a lot of, I guess, good points that I've seen on both ends, and I can understand why people would think one or the other. But at the end of the day, I believe that you are the person that's responsible for what you have going on. No one else can. We always say, ain't nobody put a gun in your head and make you do nothing. You put a gun in your own head in this situation, but but no, like, people don't understand that at certain levels in life, like you said, you have to leave some stuff behind. And if that means friends or family or whatever, we a lot of times aren't ready to accept that. that we have to, in order to go higher, we have to leave some stuff behind.
Yeah.
And I think it's really hard for us, especially skin folks, because we feel like this level of loyalty, this level of not being a sellout, this level of not wanting to change, when in reality, we should be striving to change daily.
Yeah.
We should be striving to change on a daily basis. That should be our motto when we wake up, to change and become better. But we have been taught that change is wrong.
Mm-hmm. Or switching up. People don't like when you switch up. Yeah. Yeah. What were you finna say, Fred?
I was gonna say, I also feel like in this situation, his friend, I couldn't tell because I couldn't really hear the audio that well, but it seemed to me like when he noticed that the gun was up, he kind of put the camera down.
Oh yeah, it was quick.
You know what I'm saying?
Quick. It was
like,
a quick
like,
flash.
oh, shoot. Like,
it was a quick flash.
And I feel like at that point he was like, "Hey, bro, what you doing?"
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, to that, I feel like 1,000% you're responsible for your own outcome, and you're the one that's making millions. Ain't none of them niggas in the car with you in the NBA. So whatever they do, if they encourage you to do it, get out the car. If they didn't encourage you, whatever it is, like you chose to do that. You brought the gun with you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where are you hanging out with at this point in your life?
And at this point, it's shown to be a pattern, behavioral pattern.
Yeah. That part is crazy. Like, I don't know. It's, I'm not a millionaire, but I feel like as motivated as I am by money, you could pretty much give me a list of rules and I'd be happy to follow them. No, you don't want me to show my gun? Yeah, okay. Cool.
He said it's not even that hard. Like,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's not even a thing where it's like, don't have a gun.
Yeah.
It's like, don't do stupid shit with the gun. Like, don't be out here being reckless. Just follow the gun laws.
Brandishing the blick. Brandishing the blick.
Go to the range with Bronny and Draymond.
Yeah.
Like,
but no, like it's simple.
Yeah.
It was nothing hard. And for you to go through all of these interviews and all of these apologies, go on this apology tour just to come back a few.
And then he brought that Chat GPT ass apology out. Folks were saying that he just typed he asked Chat GPT to type the motherfucker out. Because I don't know how true it is. I just saw what somebody said, gave the AI a prompt, like write an apology letter after you got caught up again. And it came out with a similar thing as to what Ja's supposed apology letter was that he put out. I don't know. I don't know how factual that is.
I heard that ChatGPT is like legit.
Yeah.
No. I was sitting in a rehearsal with somebody who was like, "Yeah, I'm writing my paper right now. You need ChatGPT, bro.
Yeah.
You just type it in." I was just like, "Man, boy, I graduated so long ago." But
Malcolm was on here when he was on. He was talking about how he was talking to a girl, and he was typing in. He was sending her messages from ChatGPT.
Things I would never admit.
Hey, I did say, I was like, bro, I hope this ain't the first time she gonna hear about this. Like, that'd be a fucked up way to hear about how you just got like stole up on by a nigga. You know what I'm saying?
AI.
But so this is kind of off topic, but I do want you guys' opinion on this. First thing that I want to do is, can you define loyalty? Like, can you just pull up a definition?
Okay.
And then before we do that, I want y'all to tell me what you guys think loyalty is, or your own personal definition. Then we'll look at the actual definition, and then I'll tell you what I think about when I think about loyalty. Because something that Nala brought up that is a key point is how we feel this strong need to be loyal to an idea, right? But I feel like a lot of people don't know how to do that. I feel like we end up being loyal to people. But I'm going to get into what do y'all think loyalty is? When y'all hear the word, you think about the word, can you just subjectively define it?
I think loyalty deals with having a sense of commitment to a thing or a person or an idea.
Okay.
A level of a level of deeper commitment, I guess. I've never, I have, but I haven't recently sat with the idea of loyalty and just sat and thought with it. But
Right. I
Fred,
think a lot of people don't. A lot of people use words and that's what I mean when I say when people talk with each other, a lot of times words will get thrown around and people will have their own ideas about what a word means. And that's why people start to disagree. You know what I mean? Do you have a
No, I actually think that was a really good definition.
Yeah.
Commitment.
yeah. Yeah, and I don't disagree, obviously. Before you pull up the actual definition, I actually agree. Yeah, for sure. It's most certainly about commitment. But okay, so so isolated in an echo chamber, yes, that's what loyalty is. I guess when it comes to how it's used, however, I see a lot of people being loyal to things like a person. Like, I'm loyal to Fred because Fred is Fred. And I feel like that's what our biggest problem is. We're loyal to people and we're not loyal to without being loyal to ourselves. So I came up with this idea a while back. I don't know if I came up with the idea. I thought about this idea a while back. We got to stop being so hung up on the idea that I have to be loyal to this person or to this thing, and instead find out what common ground you and the idea or you and the person or you and the institution share. Because that's a easier way for you to recognize whether or not the person, the idea, or the institution or whatever else is being loyal to you as well. I feel like a lot of people are just blindly loyal to people, institutions, whatever. They just they latch onto it. And like she said, we have this insatiable desire to just, for whatever reason, prove how loyal we are. Maybe out of fear of being ostracized, maybe to gain some type of social credit, maybe to gain whatever it is. But we have this insatiable desire to do that, right? And I feel like people don't apply loyalty correctly, and it ends up getting them into a world of trouble, i.e. John Morant. When you're loyal to these people, understandably so, but you aren't loyal. Y'all don't have an idea that y'all share to be loyal to. You know what I'm saying?
It's the same thing where people talk about all the time. You have to love yourself more than you love whatever the other thing is that you love.
Right.
Because it becomes toxic.
Right.
When you love anything outside of yourself more than you love yourself.
Right.
Loyalty, in what I'm hearing you say, is kind of the same way.
Right.
You have to be more loyal to yourself
right.
than you are to another person or an idea or an entity.
Right. You have to have a mutual loyalty to yourself and the idea. And it's like, I feel like that's the reason why a lot of people insert God into their marriages and stuff like that. And I feel like that's the reason why, this is one of the few times you'll hear me give Christian stuff and old, but I feel like that's the reason why it's so potent, why people do lean more towards going that route, because they have something in between them to be loyal to. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I'm loyal to Nala, but the moment that I or she does something that breaks the idea, this social contract that we've not physically and not verbally written, but that we understand, the moment, and it should be verbally for you should most certainly lay out the rules of your relationship with whoever. But the moment that those things are broken, there's no point in continuing to be loyal to the person, because they've broken the bridge that bridges the gap between you and them or it. The moment that an institution, the moment you see it play out a lot, and maybe it got something to do with war, because people don't give a fuck when the last time their team won, right? But they're gonna be loyal to the team. Right. Maybe it has something to do with war, this tribalistic mentality where it's just like, for no reason at all, I will never transgress my group. Maybe it has something to do with that. But we see the negative ramifications of that play out a lot. And I just wanted to kind of address that. Did you ever get to the real? It's fine. I can look
Yes.
it up.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I thought you.
I was gonna ask, so you feel like Ja Morant is being loyal to the people that are around him more than he's being loyal to like his obligations in the NBA?
Yes. Yes.
I ain't gonna lie, I think Buddy is just nutty.
Maybe.
Like,
giving or showing firm and consistent support or allegiance to a person or institution, loyal service. Yeah.
Cause like if you are the guy in your circle that made it to the league, you know, like who are you trying to impress?
I think that's, and it's not like we got to get off of him because we can sit up here and the whole podcast can be about him, but that'll be kind of dick riding. But but yeah, from what I understand, it ain't like he grew up necessarily in it. He probably grew up adjacent to it because he grew up around people that may have been.
I mean, he was in Memphis, but I mean,
so he grew up in Memphis,
to my understanding.
Fact check it.
Oh, okay. But I mean, this is the same person. He said he's a little nutty, but this is the same person who people have told him, time and time again, to calm down because he's going to shorten his career through injury with all of the wild ass shit that we like to see him do. Oh no, he did not.
South Carolina.
South Carolina, yeah.
North Carolina, come on and raise up. Take your shirt off. Peter Pablo. South Carolina though. I mean, the way he act, you think he's from Memphis. No shade to you Memphis niggas. I fuck with y'all. My old roommate in Memphis. Shout out Josh. 100, my brother.
Memphis people get down for it.
Is Finesse 2 times from Memphis?
I don't know what Finesse 2 times is from, but let me tell you something. That man
what
crazy.
A
I don't know where that man is from, but let me tell you, Finesse 2 times. But that's what we need to talk about. That man, boy. Let me tell you. So, all right. That was the mustiest sex I've ever seen. Like, I'm sorry. Like, that sex looked so musty.
Oh, my goodness.
I was just like, oh.
I'm crying.
You don't want to see it?
Yeah.
Me don't want to see it?
I could have went my whole life never seeing that.
Yeah, I'm sorry that I had to make y'all look at that.
I didn't look at it. I ain't even tell you no story.
Yeah.
I saw a screenshot of it. I saw a screenshot of somebody putting Finesse 2 times behind some type of hog or something like that. I said, "Oh, I do not want to see the actual footage."
It was some very musty looking sex.
Dang, that's what he get for not coming to Huntsville.
And I think was he here and just didn't show up?
His brother was here or something like that.
They said he was at the hotel.
Yeah, that's what I thought. He was at the hotel. Okay. Like he was here, he just didn't come.
Well, that's even worse.
Came on vacation. It was just like, nah, fuck the concert.
That's shit,
even worse.
That shit's so crazy. I mean, I don't even think that. Even if I could, it is players' fault. Right. But even if I could get away with that, I don't think I would.
Nah, you gotta have integrity.
Yeah.
As a businessman.
Yeah.
And the amount of money, like, that wasn't no 2,500. They said he sent that man 40 racks, bro.
That shit crazy.
That's tough.
I was surprised anybody shooting.
I was just finna say that sound like. Never mind.
And they was getting down on us on the internet because they was like, he could have never did no shit like that in Birmingham.
For sure.
It made me feel bad.
As toxic as that is, I understand why motherfuckers be so rah about shit, like showing you how big and bad I am so that you don't try to fuck me over like that.
Literally.
You know? I get it. We need to not do that, but like I get it. And like we just want, and it's Nala got the blick.
Yeah, look, I had put my down a long time ago. I was like, nah, this ain't gonna go well.
Nala got the blick. Nala Morant. Going crazy when I told her a whole bunch of times. All right,
goodness.
Yeah, it's gonna be have a 8 episode suspension.
That's tough.
But God damn, I hate to be like this though. That's an ugly man though. That man ugly. That's a real ugly man, bro. Finesse 2 times, bro. Like
he got to be ready to drop an album because like
Who's
I feel
having
like
sex
he
with
even
him?
he got 3 girlfriends.
Who wants to be his girlfriend?
that's a perfect
3 of
segue.
them.
That's a perfect segue. What these women will do for money is amazing. Cause ain't no way. I try to always, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe my whole worldview is just fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like everybody is acclimated towards or has a propensity to like shit that's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm wrong though, cause ain't nothing beautiful about them. It's just like, okay, y'all like
if you put a collar on him,
yeah.
snip his
Some
ears,
diamonds on him.
snip his ears.
But it's maybe this isn't even the take that I need to have about this. I just can't get over it. It's just like it ain't hate. I'm genuinely concerned.
For what?
Because it's the stuff that people will do for you if you got money. It's really cringe to me, bro. It's really, and maybe he's a good guy. Maybe I just got it all wrong.
He's
maybe,
not a good guy because he's not a man of integrity.
We don't know. I mean, he did that fuck shit, but maybe he
Twice.
2 times. He got it in his name. He ain't lie. He said his name is Finesse 2 times.
Not one lie.
Yeah, so we talking about integrity, but he the one that said it in his name. So maybe we fucked up. Maybe we wrong.
Ain't no we.
They.
I
didn't buy no ticket.
didn't either.
Maybe I'm just saying like what we're talking about. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the nigga. I don't know.
I don't know. I think that
I'm concerned.
I feel like, and since there is a woman on the podcast today, we could get a nice little opinion about this. But I do feel like men are led by beauty and women are led by security.
I understand some.
Like,
I think it just depends on the type of person that it is.
mm-hmm.
Because you have different types of people, right? You have some people who are sapiosexuals. Am I?
Yeah.
Okay.
People like who are sexually attracted to intelligence.
Right. You have people who are demisexual, who are attracted to the relationship. Mm-hmm. So, and then you have asexual people who aren't attracted to anybody, like in real life. So I think it just depends on the type of person and the type of environment that kind of raised them. But for the majority of women that I've seen and interacted with, I think it's a thing of security, but not in the way that I think you're meaning it. I think it's a thing of security in this is mine. And I know, because I remember when I was younger, I used to say shit like, if I can just get an ugly man. No, for real. Dead serious. I said when I was younger. I gotta download a whole new life structure because obviously I'm sitting here, I'm like, damn, I'm a beautiful man. When I was younger, damn. I used to think shit like, if I could just get a ugly man who would just do right, then I wouldn't have to worry about all the drama that comes along with it. That was my thought process. And so I think it just depends on where women are in their life and kind of how they are attracted to people. Because I think, and I think I don't have many women friends, but the friends that I do have, it really just depends on more so how they're being treated and knowing that they're going to be safe in as far as emotionally that matters. But I mean, you can't just be like dog shit ugly.
Well, there you go.
But okay. Look, I can't say shit.
No, I have a very handsome husband. He's actually quite beautiful.
All right.
Fred said, "All right, next time." Fred, what was I finna say? I mean, so ugly folks need love too. I'm not. This isn't.
Somebody's having sex with somebody.
For sure. I'm not ugly shaming. That's not what this is. Maybe it is. I'm not ugly shaming, but what I am saying, what I am saying is like, so what prompts you to want to bump uglies with somebody? What makes you want to do that? And for me personally, it's like a whole list of criteria, and maybe that's what I'm doing. Maybe I am imprinting my ideas on the other people because like your mouth got to look clean.
Some people don't give a fuck about that. Some people don't.
That's so crazy about me. How you like somebody and they mouth look like, man, get out of here, bro. Like, all right.
No, I was looking at somebody's mouth and I was just like, why y'all want this? Yeah. Like we're in 2023, just go fix your mouth.
But no. It's not even about smoke. So that's just me being hyper, whatever the fuck about.
No, I wasn't even talking about smoking. I'm not talking about black lip shit. I'm talking about at this point. I was looking at somebody's teeth and I was just like, what is that? It's 2023.
Shit. What is that? Oh, literally. Man. I hope nobody ever look at me and be like, what is that?
I literally looked at somebody's mouth and said, what is that?
That's the worst thing that somebody could like ask you.
That's exactly what I wanted to do. But I was like, this is going to be embarrassing. There's so many people here.
Damn.
Yeah. So if you're not getting the attraction from the people that you are attracted to, maybe start with your mouth. Start with your mouth and then go to your feet.
Get
like,
some money.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. Like mouth, feet, fingers. And then like that's kind of the order. Like mouth, feet, fingers. And obviously you got to already have like a nice facade, a nice, a decent whatever. But like I've seen girls that most dudes would like be like, bruh, I'll most certainly hit that, no questions asked. And I'd be looking at them like, she look like her breath stain.
Halitosis.
I mean, not just that, it just look like it don't look like she brushed her teeth.
That's terrible.
It don't look like,
especially for a woman.
Yeah, it don't look like she brushed her teeth, or it's something about it just don't look as sanitary as I'd like. And maybe I'm tripping. There's always the possibility, as much as I wanted the show to be all about facts, I have to admit when I'm just tripping. I'm not saying that this is a list for everybody.
The facts is, if your mouth is still messed up in 2023, you need to go do something about it.
She's stressing that.
I am, because shit like that make me want to jump out of a plane.
Hey, let me tell you somebody who followed the segue. Let me tell you somebody who. I'm just looking at the Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that idiot ass dude. We might have to start a segment. Really bite off Charlemagne the God.
Okay, I could not find this story at all.
Really?
No, not until you posted the link, and then I was driving here when I seen that. But.
Yeah. So, buddy. Trevor, what is his name?
Jacobs.
Trevor Jacobs, bro. This actually happened a while back in like 2021. Apparently, the motherfucker. Did you watch the video? I'll post a link in the description on YouTube. I'll post a link in the description for those of you that are interested, or you could just not be lazy and go find it yourself. But he videotaped himself. So this is what happened. He left. I don't remember all of the specifics. Essentially, he left an airport in California, and Los Padres National Park. Padres. That's where he ended up crashing the plane. So he left the airport. 30 odd minutes later, the plane crashes. He had a selfie stick And he first of all, it was cameras on the aircraft. I don't know how common that is. I don't know anything. I don't know anything about FAA regulations or anything like that. If it's mandatory that you have cameras on the aircraft, but there were cameras on the aircraft facing the doors. He had a selfie stick, and the phone or whatever GoPro, whatever, was already on the selfie stick. He also brought with him a parachute, which I guess isn't uncommon. And initially he said that the engine cut off. And that was his reasoning as to why he jumped out. He later admitted that he crashed the plane on purpose for YouTube views.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa. Yeah.
And now he has to...
At first he said it was for some type of sponsorship promotion or some shit like that.
To promote a wallet.
Mm-hmm. So a product sponsorship.
Yes.
What? Which doesn't make sense at all.
Nah, it makes sense in 2023. Like, people doing wild shit for
Do
views.
anything for clout.
Yeah.
Do anything for clout.
Literally.
I might have to insert that song right there.
You absolutely should.
Do anything for clout. This man, but now the idiot, man, now he's facing 20 years in prison. And I found out why he was facing 20 years in prison. So apparently, he had an FAA license of a federal, Federal Aviation Administration. He had a license. Basically, can you figure that out for me?
I'm trying.
He was a licensed pilot.
Yeah, no, I got it.
FAA.
I be having to do so many jump cuts. It's alright though. You so far with finding shit. I be struggling finding shit.
Federal Aviation. Let me start over. Federal Aviation Administration.
Yes. But it's also so in looking this up, I actually got confused a couple of times because the name has changed a couple of times. The Federal Aviation Administration and Federal Aviation Agency are all kind of
the same thing.
Yeah, the same thing. But anyway, his license, he had a license to fly through the Federal Aviation Administration. When the plane crashed, and the feds were trying to investigate why the plane crashed, he had already cleaned up the plane, which is I want to know how he did that. Fuck flying the plane.
He had already cleaned up what?
The wreckage. He had already disposed of a lot of stuff. So part of the crime was tampering with evidence and hindering the whatever the police do when they trying to investigate a crime scene. That's what those charges are adding up to of 20 odd years. It ain't even that he crashed the plane, it's that he cleaned it up. They said, hey, them niggas say, hey, if you crash that plane, leave it there. We got to make sure that you crashed that plane. If you clean the plane up, you're going to be in trouble.
That's crazy. How you clean up a plane?
That's what I want to know. In the forest in Los Padres?
Padres, yeah.
In he crashed the plane into a forest. How the fuck
was
did he
it
clean
his plane?
Yeah, somebody's.
I think that's the big part because you're damaging, purposefully damaging property of another.
But what if it is his?
It's not.
Oh,
they put that in. That's true, but they put that in the writing.
Oh, how do you feel entitled enough to crash somebody else's shit?
How do you crash a plane?
He jumped out while it was flying.
But that's a plane.
Look, that's how you know niggas ain't never had shit. Me, I felt the same way. I was just like a plane. You know what I would do if I had my own plane and could just fly?
First of all,
what
Go ahead.
Oh no, I mean just the amount of damage that potentially could happen. You can't aim a plane.
I don't think that's why he went into the forest to do it.
But I mean, I just feel like you could be off.
Yeah, for sure.
Land right next to my house is near a forest.
Yeah, that would have been bad though, cause you don't know who, and maybe he did it but
somebody could have been hiking.
That's what I was gonna say, cause I was
wildlife. It could have been the last few of an endangered species. The fuck out there,
fuck them.
Some pandas out there.
He said some pandas. Pandas in California, Fred.
I want to talk about my fucking guy, Jamie fucking Foxx, because motherfuckers, and after that first Instagram post that he made on his Instagram appreciating people for the thoughts and the prayers and shit, I knew then that it was over. But a week after he done made that Instagram post, people came back, the blogs or whoever, saying that relatives and close friends of the family was saying that he was basically on his deathbed. And I'm just like, we just so gullible. It really bothers me that people don't fact check shit.
And I think beyond that, people are just have a propensity to believe conspiracies. People want excitement. It's kind of like what I was talking about theater back in the Shakespearean era, whereas like I feel like we kind of the same way that I was saying that it's easy for people who aren't affiliated with rap music or gangster rap music to digest that type of theatrical violence, is because we don't have to actually deal with the actual violence. We aren't in the real thing, so it's easy for us to digest, have fun with, then go back to our lives, get our cathartic release, our catharsis, and then go back. In this same thing, though, I feel like people look at social media in the same way that people looked at the Shakespearean plays and stuff like that. Whereas there's like, we see something on social media, we don't think about that it's real. We just want the excitement, right? Jamie Foxx is somebody who most people have never met, never will meet. They know the figure. They're waiting for something exciting to happen, another exciting thing. They don't care about whether or not he's actually doing well. Like, people want to cry and do all of this other stuff just to say that they did it. But you don't actually even know the dude. You don't care whether or not he's actually doing well. Otherwise, you wouldn't be so quick to believe conspiracy.
Right.
Because I was very suspicious of a lot of the posts that I was seeing on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. It was everybody saying like some bullshit. But why do y'all think people are prone to believing conspiracies? What do y'all think the flavor of it is that people just love so much?
It's flavor, like you said.
Yeah, it's something interesting. It's something to kind of consume my mind, and I don't have to do anything. I don't have any responsibility in it. So it's just like, I don't have to think. Somebody's done all the thinking for me. It makes sense enough to me, so I'm going to go along with it.
Like conspiracy theories are definitely entertaining.
For sure. I can't deny that.
You know, like, to be real.
Be real ain't here. Shout out my nigga Be Real, man. We done talked about the man 2 times.
Dope. But not like you some of it, when you think about things that actually happen that we have proof of, and things that like Flint and the water situation. When you can think about an entire city where this is happening in real life and has been happening for almost like 10 years at this point. It's not unfathomable for like most of the conspiracy theories that I've heard to be true. You know, where it's like the government is secretly doing this and they're building these things for the, end of days or whatever. Like all that stuff, when you put it up next to, all these politicians and all these people are just allowing the city to just have dirt water. You know what I'm saying? Like, how is that real life, but this is unbelievable?
Right.
I think though, I need to look into the Flint thing, because you bring up some excellent points. I need to look into the Flint thing because it has been so long since I've actually looked into it, because like you said, it's been going on for a minute now. But I think my concern is that people think it's something purposeful. and it may not be.
Doesn't matter.
I understand that. I think it matters. So it doesn't matter as far as it pertains to why the water is whatever. I think it matters as far as people's perception, because perception to some degree might as well be reality. If you perceive it to be a thing, a way, then it is a way for you. It's people's perception that Big Brother or these people or they are purposefully doing this to whoever. And even if that's the case, it's the idea that we believe that about everything. I'm not disagreeing with you.
Yeah.
I think that once again, I think that's just my concern.
Yeah.
I think that's what I'm highlighting more. Because you're right. When you think about stuff that actually has happened, especially on a deeper level, like on a Joe Rogan scale, like when you start talking about the Manhattan Project and the thing with the Nazis in Germany, a lot of them fleeing and escaping to South America and shit like that. And you having this huge Nazi, well, maybe not huge, but this Nazi resurrection in South America. People, why is it why are there Nazis in South America? Because that's what they fled to. When you get into stuff like that, I definitely understand. I think it's the woo-wah shit for me, though. I think that's where I draw the line. Like, because all of that is understandable. Even I understand why people don't believe we landed on the moon. I get it. Disagree, but I get it. But it's the woo-wah shit, like, Diddy sacrificing this nigga. That's what I'd be like, where do you even get that from? Have you seen Diddy sacrifice somebody? Have you seen anybody sacrifice somebody? Were you a part of the Mayan civilization when they was taking niggas' hearts out of some shit? What's it when you die and you come back to life as a motherfucker? When you reincarnate as these motherfuckers? Are you a reincarnation of some Mayan motherfuckers that you just...
It's like, why do we feel like, you talking about sacrificing, why do we feel like as black people that in order for us to be successful, we have to sacrifice somebody and join the Illuminati?
I just seen a post that said, they said, I'm paraphrasing, but essentially they said, all I'm gonna say is Jennifer Hudson did it. And y'all know what I'm talking about. Because right when she was getting famous, you know, her family got what I think it was in Florida, right? Was it a car accident or something like that?
No, they came into their house, right?
I thought it was a car accident.
I just know the motherfuckers died.
Yeah,
I think they came into their
it
house.
might be a Berenstein versus Berenstein Bears thing going on right now.
Wow. So I feel like personally that even if the Illuminati conspiracy theories were true, I still feel like it's a cop-out. I think that people like those type of stories because it justifies their lack of success.
Talk to these. That's the hottest take. That's the hottest take. We can end the podcast. I'm about to get over here and play backup music like how you play for the preacher.
That's so funny. Yeah, they were shot in their home.
Damn.
But yeah, it's like you can, if you can just say, well, I'm not successful because I don't want to sell my soul or because I don't want to do this, then now you have a blanket get out of jail free card for all of your failures, all of your shortcomings. My life is shitty because I stayed true to who I am. That's sometimes my problem with religion, where it's like sometimes they preach suffering and that you're this way because it's supposed to be this way and all that stuff. It's like, no, bro, just go to work. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you may not ever be a billionaire or may not be a millionaire, but you can always work yourself into a comfortable position.
For sure. Were you finished?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah, I think so.
You can round off your thought. I don't want to. You just said something that agitated me. Not that I disagree with.
No, but yeah, that's how I feel. I feel like it's easy to say, this person is only successful because they had to do this, they had to do this, they had to do this, and then that way when you're standing next to that person, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. One of my problems with church is what you're talking about like this cop out that it's suffering is supposed to be a part of whatever. My problem with it is that sounds good until you're poor. It sounds good until you start actually talking to these actual impoverished communities, and you want to go and do outreach to these impoverished communities. And so even just like down here, what's the Whitesburg community? They have a community church. They have a public community center.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, they have the community center. They have the school. They have all of these different things set up in that little area. Set up in all of that. Whitesburg got a lot of money circulating in Huntsville, but right over there in Whitesburg. Even off of Governors, where you have that big old church with Jesus, big old
egg beater Jesus.
Yeah, big old egg beater Jesus with the Alpha and Omega sign and all of this other stuff. You got that whole little community or whatever. They obviously can afford to do that. But then black churches have this thing where they pop up everywhere in the community. And what happens when you do that, the problem is, so crime in general has always been associated with poverty. The more poverty a place experiences, the more crime that place is going to experience. Whether it's petty theft, all the way up into murder, all crime is just higher in impoverished communities or in hyper extremist religious places around the world. But so impoverished communities, hyper religious extremist places around the world. That's where you're going to experience the most violence, theft, and all of these other things, atrocities. So when we talk about liberating a place from poverty, of course, you start talking about bettering the education system. You start talking about bringing in businesses for jobs. You talk about getting the children and the youth involved in extracurricular activities to keep them busy and out the streets. The thing that people, for whatever reason, in the black community don't want to talk about is that the amount of money that circulates through churches that goes into these banks and then out of the community. We don't want to talk about the amount of tithing that people go to church all the time and preach about tithing. But what they've gone and done is, you have this deacon or this pastor or this whoever that's gotten mad at this church, and they've gone and started the whole nother church. And now he's getting these people, and some people from that church may have left and come with the other pastor. And now I still want you to tithe and help pay the church bills and all of this other stuff. And all you've done is splintered the original church's money power. That's all that you've done. A lot of black communities with all of these different splintered off churches, they could have the same type of because once again in Whitesburg, all of that stuff, it started from the religious organization. And granted, the people had to have money to begin with, but when it comes down to the way that the institution was ran, once the people had the money, it doesn't matter if black people have money. If you go into if I have $1 million and you have $1 million and she has $1 million, but we all going somewhere different in the community and putting and tithing whatever 10% to this institution, and this institution then goes and puts the money in the bank, you're not utilizing your buying power as a community as effectively as you could. And it really bothers me that people will be like, God called me to do this, God called me to do that, but God didn't tell you that you splintering off from this church because your ego led you to believe that you wanted to be a pastor, this, that, and the third, was contributing to the fragmentization, if that's even a word, of the buying, of the buying power of the community.
Yeah.
And maybe that's not important to them, but when you start talking about, once again, why communities struggle, black communities struggle, and you got all of these different churches scattered around, to not talk about that, to me, is asinine. Yeah. You got to talk about how we could all be together. We could all have $3 million right here. I'm just saying, if I'm a millionaire, you a millionaire, we could all have $3 million, but instead all of that $3 million has been dispersed throughout these other places, and none of it's come together to start a community center, a private school. You go to some of these churches, they got voter registration things. You know what I'm saying? They have all of these other different community outreach, technically secular community outreach things, and that benefit the community. Black churches, a lot of them, I'm not saying all before y'all come for me. I'm not saying all, but most. Hell, I think Decatur has the fucking record for the most churches per square mile. Wow. Yeah.
I was fucking amazed when I drove up here the first time through Decatur.
Yeah,
I said,
Decatur.
What the fuck is this?
Yeah. Decatur could be some shit.
Counting. It was like 50 on the little road I was on. I was like, shit.
They be packed down the street. No.
Yeah, I mean, and granted, some of that comes from maybe we had smaller communities back then, and that habit just stayed with us because with the smaller communities, we didn't need as much financial buying power or whatever. And I'm not trying to say that it makes all of the difference, but it makes some difference. And I would argue a lot of difference. You start talking about all of those different mortgage payments on all of these big ass buildings. Everybody is still trying to collect money for a building fund. You start thinking about all the different musicians, and I'm not complaining because I get paid the same way, but you start thinking about all of the musicians and how much they get paid at all of these different churches. All of that shit is coming from the congregation. You think about all of the money, and then let's not get started on the pastors driving around with these with these fucking I was going to say bubble caprices.
I'm so done.
Not the bubble caprice.
But in these Cadillacs and Mercedes and BMWs and shit like that, you got all of these pastors going around doing that. But we don't talk about, I feel like look, this is what I truly believe. The truth has no fear of inquiry. So if you're afraid to question it, it might not be true. That just applies to everything. Yeah, we're gonna let Nala leave the premises.
It's all right. I'm double clutching.
Hell yeah. Bedtime, shawty. It's all good. We're gonna jump into some of this other stuff. Did you wanna get into the university? This nigga is going crazy. Oh, whoever you was just shooting is dead. The niggas is dead. Steve Jobs is dead. Them niggas is dead. Hey.
Man, crazy with the blicky. Okay, so the University of Wyoming, right?
Talk to us about it.
So a group of sorority sisters.
Okay.
What is it? From the Gamma Chi? Let me make sure I'm saying that right.
But they be killing that Greek shit.
Boy.
What? Maybe I need to look that up. Why? This is kind of off topic, but I just want to know. I'll do it after we get done talking.
Why are they all named after Greek letters?
Yeah. Like, what was the deal with that?
I read something about that. I hate when people are like, I used to know that, but I did used to know why.
Yeah.
I did used to know the answers. Anyway, so let's see. Basically, the group of sorority sisters say that a transgender woman was accepted into their sorority.
Gotcha.
And now they're suing the sorority because the transgender woman makes them feel uncomfortable. Basically, they were saying that she was staring at them for hours without saying anything.
Yeah, okay, hold on, I gotta give you some pushback here. That's not a trans thing. That's a weird person thing.
Oh, definitely not.
No, I'm talking shit. No, I'm talking shit. I'm talking shit. I'm just saying what people gonna say. People gonna be like, okay, that's not a trans thing. That's just people just being weird. Okay,
it's just like on your list of grievances in the lawsuit, you just put this like this motherfucker stared at me for a long time. It didn't say nothing. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, and apparently she was asking uncomfortable questions about like their private parts and I think how often they either use them or like how often they were washing or just different like weird questions that you would not ask. Like another female would not ask another female. Or another woman, I'm sorry. And then apparently it went as far as like they had an erection. And what I found interesting is that they're assuming that the person is going to be allowed, like the person was accepted into the sorority in 2022. And then in 2023 or next year, maybe next in the fall, they're actually going to be allowed to move into their sorority house. So, and basically the university or the sorority representatives was essentially like, if you don't like it, you can leave.
Yeah.
Which is super savage. Because I feel like if it was a man sexually harassing these women, it would be a very different response. But since it's a
trans woman,
then now it's jumping to protect the trans woman, which, you know, brings up the question, like, how can you protect everyone? How can you be fair to everyone?
Yeah, and I don't know. So allow me to opine. And I'm gonna try not to go around the world to make this point. Women and their relationship to men with the rise of feminism, us as a society has done a poor job at creating a safety net for the inevitable fall that males were going to have with the rise of feminism. What I mean by that is all of these provisions were made for women, and a lot of the fuel that was used to make those provisions was made off of fuck men. Men are trash. Men ain't shit. Men are predators, which some of that isn't necessarily false. However, when you are tailoring your society to fix problems, it's not a healthy mindset to use to tailor the society. And so what's happened is, it has not just happened with men and women, it's happened with black people and white people, it's happened with everybody. Once again, anytime you have an oppressed group of people, once they gain liberation, one of the things that they do is that they overcompensate, which is what I mean when I say there wasn't a safety net for men. And I feel like it highlights how bad we are at doing two things at the same time. It's hard for us to take up for one thing without saying fuck the other thing, right? Or without like drawing safe lines, right? Because it sounds like to me what I'm hearing from the article or whatever that you were reading is that the feelings of the cis women involved mattered or were less valuable than the feelings of the trans woman, even though there's a potential risk associated with physically having the trans woman in the same living quarters as the cis women. There's nothing wrong with being pro anything. You have to be careful though about what you may potentially be saying you're anti as well. There's a duality to everything, and you got to be careful with that. I don't want to give an opinion about whether or not I think that the trans woman should be allowed in the sorority. I don't, to me, that doesn't matter. What does matter to me, I think the bigger problem is that we're afraid to say no to certain stuff. When had it been anyone else, we would say no. Yeah. You have equitable systems set up in place for people, but we don't have safety nets to stop that bullet coming out of the gun. Once we propel these people forward, where's the stopping point going to be? Are we just going to let it keep going and going and going? Or because once we get to the point to where equity has been established, do we still need that same amount of energy being pushed or backing them towards whatever direction they're headed in. Right.
Yeah. Okay, so in my head, and I know that this would probably be a very difficult thing to actually put into practice, but I feel like if you're going to allow, I mean, not if you're going, because obviously you don't want to discriminate, but there should be some sort of vetting process, especially when we're talking about women's institutions, whether that man believes that he's a woman or not, or she's a woman or not. There should be some sort of process to establish, like, is this really a transgender woman, or is this a man who was never able to be around the type of girls that he's around in the sorority, and now he's just
and a lot of people will think what you said is harsh. There was a situation, and this might be comparing apples to oranges, but this is just my understanding, right? And it's not that this isn't trans hate or anything like this. This is genuine. These are the genuine conversations the difficult conversations that need to be had, because you have stuff like what happened where a trans woman was in jail, and I think she was in a cis woman institution and ended up raping someone and getting them pregnant. Right. We're not saying that that's what trans women do. What we're saying is that it's a real thing that can happen. And so I do understand what you're saying about there being an actual vetting process, because you still, especially if they still have male parts, that's a real thing that could potentially happen if someone isn't psychologically evaluated. And once again, like you said, that's a difficult thing to do, because how do you go about doing that?
I don't know. Yeah,
I'm not saying that. I guess just opening up the conversation, because obviously we don't have the answers. We're not fucking whatever the science is where you study race and gender and all of that other stuff. However, the conversation is one that I feel like people have to stop being pansies about and talk about, because you do get to the point to where you start infringing upon the safety of other people.
Yeah. Cis women.
Yeah.
It's just like, where is the regard for them,
when it comes to that issue? Yeah, like I said, it's we suck at doing two things at one time, and it gets to the point to where we end up not actually verbally, but in our action saying fuck this other group of people, right? The feelings and opinions of this group of people matter more than the feelings and opinions of this other group of people. And where that is valid in some areas, I don't feel like this is one of those areas. The feelings and opinions of non-racist folk matter to me more than the feelings and opinions of racist folk. The feelings and opinions of any oppressed group of people matter more to me than the feelings and opinions of oppressive groups of individuals. In this scenario, it doesn't feel like the women are coming from an oppressive, the cis women are coming from an oppressive place with their concern.
I agree. I agree. It sounds like a place of defense, self-defense, and just, we want to feel safe. We want to feel comfortable in our own, space. Yeah. And they were talking about having, where people have their own space, and that's why I still think it's a difficult thing to do, because it's like, then where do you draw the line between giving them their own space and discriminating and saying trans people have to stay in this building or be a part of this organization so that these people don't feel, like their rights are being infringed upon. It's a lot of gray area in there, which for me, I don't really care what people do, because it just doesn't affect me.
It's hard to, what am I trying to say? It's hard to try to find a happy medium when we're asking sometimes this is what I'm trying to say. Boom. We're asking people to be vulnerable in a world where you have predatory people asking women to be submissive in a world full of predatory men. We're asking black people to be whatever in a world full of predatory racist. You ask, and it goes on and on and on. And it's hard to find out where the actual stopping point needs to be, right? To where we ask women to be vulnerable in a world full of predatory men, but you do have actual men that are suffering because of the stuff put in place to help protect women. You have now cis women struggling because of stuff that was put in place to protect trans women and so on and so forth. So in the conversation, we can acknowledge both sides, but it's just hard to figure out whether. I think that's what we've been saying this whole time. It's just hard to draw that line. It's just hard to draw that line.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Shout out to them though.
He said, "Shout out to them." No.
Better you than me.
Yeah. What else do we have going down this motherfucker, man? This has been a hell of a podcast. All of these technical difficulties and shit. Did you fuck with the Super Mario Bros?
I did.
Yeah.
Definitely played Mario.
Yeah.
Nintendo 64.
Yeah. Mario 64.
Mario Kart, all that shit.
Yeah. Did you ever watch the old Mario movie back in like the 1990 something?
No, I did not know that there was one.
There's a Mario movie, and it was so bad that they never made another one. It was so bad. Like don't get me wrong, like if it came on TV, I'd still watch it because this is just how much I fuck with the franchise. But it was so fucking bad, bro. And it's taken 20 years for them to try to make another one. And I've seen the previews to it, to the Super Mario movie. I don't know if I'm gonna like it though.
The preview that you sent me was like, there wasn't anything inherently like vulgar or bad about it. I was just like, is this movie gonna be for kids? Because I don't know, the tone and like the way they were talking, the humor just seemed very mature. Yeah,
but more than that, I hated the voice acting. It was too American. Yeah, it was way too American.
Oh yeah, it was no Italian.
Yeah. Like you can't go
like
from
Seth Rogen.
Yeah, like you can't go from it's a me, Mario. You can't go from that to a nigga talking like me. I'm Mario. Like you can't do that, bro. Like you gotta get the accent, bro.
What did he say? Nobody asked you.
Yeah, like
I was like, what is this?
Yeah. And even Bowser, like Bowser has always had this roarish, guttural whatever about him. They didn't even try. The nigga sounds like his real name is fucking Oscar. Like, like the dude, nah, bro. I don't think I'm gonna like it for the voice acting. I think that's the same reason why I didn't like the realistic version of the Lion King that they did a while back in like 16, 17. I
still haven't seen that shit.
I didn't like it because it wasn't animated enough. Like you made the lions too real with human voices.
I generally don't like remakes.
Yeah.
Of things, and I am super annoyed at Disney for like the amount of remakes that they just keep coming out with.
Yeah.
But I hate that shit.
Yeah.
Like, just let good stuff be good stuff.
Yeah.
And there's so many creative people out here. Just make some new shit.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, man.
I'm gonna talk about some of this other stuff later on. It's a lot of stuff. I didn't realize how absolutely thick, like big butt cheeks thick, this fucking itinerary was. But did you hear or see or read into the Kenyan death cult? I feel like people might want to hear about that.
I definitely want to hear about it.
Okay, so in Kenya, there's this death cult, this Christian death cult. They've been fasting themselves to death, literally. And now the death toll has risen to like 90.
Wow. I mean, they're choosing to die, though.
I don't know if they're like if the purpose of it is death, but they are dying from fasting.
Yeah, but after the first 3, though.
Yeah. You know what's up.
It's a choice.
Yeah.
At that point.
Yeah.
Because like one person dies, that's an accident. But then two people, you know.
It's amazing and kind of scary to think about how down about it folks can be. They so down about it, bro. Like, it's so amazing how down about it you can be about some shit.
Mm-mm.
Like, you mean what? You want me to fast?
Right.
I'll fast till I die.
I could never watch somebody die and be like, oh yeah, I want to do that. That's me right there. I'm gonna starve to death.
Oh man.
And that's a slow death.
Yeah.
If you like you starve to death, that is not.
Yeah.
That's not like drinking the Kool-Aid. That's
yeah.
You're gonna die. You're gonna feel sick. You're gonna feel terrible. You're weak.
But that just goes to show you how strong the whole concept of belief is, man.
20 of y'all in one casket because you're so skinny.
Yeah, yeah. And it's, I mean, I'm not even making no racist African jokes, but like Kenyans are notoriously like small and slender anyway. Like I think Kenyans are the one that in the Olympics, you know, they run the long distance motherfuckers. They be running, you know, like it. I mean, not to say it ain't no thick Kenyans. I don't know. I ain't never met no Kenyans, but I don't know. I ain't never met no Kenyans, but
shout out to the Kenyans. If
yeah,
you
shout
thick
out.
and you a Kenyan, post a pic. Put it in the comment section. Prove us wrong.
Yeah, let us know. You off the mother blanket chain, dog. They off the mother blanket chain, dog. Just so that we can talk about it real quick. The Janelle Monae titty flash. That's all we gotta say about that. The song is oh man. It was way too much to talk about on this podcast. People suck real bad. She said that people were using her image. People were using her image to degrade women and say that women should cover up and that women should do this, that, and the third. And she said she basically was like she didn't fuck with that. She didn't fuck with people using her image as the reason, as saying like pointing to her as this paragon of what a feminine woman should be and this, that, and the third. And and the thing is, I mean, she's bisexual, so I mean, she gets it. I think deeper than all of us do.
Literally.
Yeah. That's an awesome joke. I want you to know that's an awesome joke. That's an awesome joke. That joke is awesome. It can move mountains.
Man.
Okay.
I wasn't mad at it though. It was like first of all, she's already like, I don't want to say weird, but she's weird. So
yeah.
For people to even think that she's this poster child for the conservative woman is kind of stupid in itself.
Yeah.
Just because, like, you know, that's not. Yeah, I don't know. Only thing I think is that how can I say this? It should have been longer.
That joke is awesome. It can move mountains.
I'm getting sleepy. I'm about to start saying stuff that's gonna get me in trouble with my wife.
Oh man, I'll edit it.
Just kidding. She doesn't care.
Oh, I don't even want to talk about the NBA young boy Lil Durk beef no more. No motherfucker diss J. Cole and shit. It's just, I don't even have the energy to get into like the whole thing. We'll talk about that next week. It's only so much heavy shit we can talk about. So many facts are just hard to swallow. This says, I don't know how true this is. This is going to go into the speculative part of the podcast. It's just something to I wanted to highlight real fast because I saw it. Ja repeating the same dangerous mistake in less than 3 months. The consequences he must now face, not so shocking. Morant's first suspension already cost him $669,000 in salary. $669,000 in salary. But those 8 missed games also forfeited his chance at an all NBA team, which erases $40 million of guaranteed supermax money. Ooh. Morant's second suspension will be harsher and likely put him below the 65 game requirement for all NBA next year. And when you miss more games, you lose more money in salary per game. So if Ja gets suspended for less than 20 games, it's about $230,000 per game missed. If he gets over 20 games, it climbs up to nearly $300,000 per game. Mm-hmm. And when Ja plays less, people will pay less for Ja.
330K in a night is wild.
That is wild.
That's what you're missing, bro. Like,
yeah, that is wild, bro. That is wild. But with all that's been said, I am rooting for the brother. I mean, I don't want that to be the legacy that he leaves behind. It'd be an awesome turnaround story if he just, got it right,
I definitely don't understand the mentality behind what he's doing, or why people feel the need to just throw away a good thing.
Yeah.
Like you just shitting on an opportunity when there's people that are probably in your circle that are just like, bro, do you know what I would do with 330K in a night?
I think that, and I've talked about this, not on the podcast. I've talked about this before with people. I think that people have a problem with object permanence more so than what we think. So, object permanence is what they test babies for to make sure that they don't have any type of cognitive disabilities. And all object permanence is, a lot of other creatures don't have it. Some of them do. It's understanding that once something isn't in your presence anymore, that it still exists. So what they'll do is they'll put like a penny underneath a cup or something like that. And if the baby or the animal or whatever it is tries to get it from under the cup, then obviously they understand object permanence. If they don't and they're disinterested in it, then they don't understand object permanence. I feel like we understand object permanence, but there's this threshold to it where we don't recognize that just because a situation isn't there or imminent doesn't mean that it can't exist, right? Or that I don't know, I feel like you get to the point to where you know about this money, you think that you understand this money, but it's not real to you. Maybe you don't understand, like, because it's maybe not in your face, or maybe because your manager handles it. It might be the same thing with why credit cards are so dangerous to people that don't have good spending habits, because you don't actually physically see the money leave, right? And so it's kind of that object permanence thing where it's just like, I don't see it, I can just swipe the card. I feel less guilt about it. And maybe it's a thing dealing with that. Maybe it's I don't know how much money he's ever had, but maybe it's a thing of, I've never had this much money anyway, so I don't even know what I'm losing.
That's fair.
Maybe.
That's fair.
I'm just thinking.
This is not his rookie year, or is this?
No. This is like his third year.
Okay, gotcha.
He's just 23, so maybe his third year. Yeah, him and Zion came in at the same time.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah, that's tough. Gonna skip back down here real fast. I'm just gonna read off some of this other stuff that people maybe didn't know. Did you see Lil Wayne walking off stage?
I did.
Yes, as he ought have.
But no, because that wasn't his show.
Oh,
that was his artist.
Oh yeah, it wasn't his show.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I don't know, like, I would have wanted to see footage of the artist performing.
Yeah.
Before I can make an accurate assumption, because on one hand, I do understand, like, for anybody that goes to live shows, like, people that perform need the crowd's energy. Like, if you're a dead audience member, just like fucking stay home and watch the live or something. Because me personally, I would rather play to an empty room than to be playing to a bunch of people that's like either on their phones or whatever. Yeah, it's just not fun, because then instantly it's like, okay, what am I doing wrong? Yeah. And that's a lot of pressure to have on yourself. Meanwhile, having to remember whatever element of your performance you have, whether you're an artist or an actor or whatever. Right. You don't want to be performing from a dead crowd. However, it felt entitled because I had never heard of this person before. And so it looked like a pretty big stage. It looked like a pretty big crowd. And I do know that it is hard to move people with music that is unfamiliar to them.
Yeah.
So for Wayne to do that, I don't know. Like I said, I would need to see the whole performance, but I did think that a better thing would be to, like, you know, maybe have him cut to the song that has you featured on it.
Yeah.
To, you know, get the crowd back.
Yeah. Or
whatever. Like something positive. Like we just have a whole lot of negativity, and you know, at the end of the day, the customer still is right. So if I pay good money for a show, I want to be entertained. I want to, you know, have music that moves me.
Right.
And if it doesn't, then that's on you. You know what I'm saying? That's on the performer.
Yeah.
And whoever the artist was, he wasn't Wayne. So he hasn't put too much in. He hasn't worked too hard. You might have.
Yeah.
But we don't know this nigga.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and why do we care?
Yeah.
You know, but
because it's Wayne's artist, is the artist is attached to Wayne's name, maybe. But no, I agree 100% with what you're saying. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Ain't even nothing to discuss there. Rihanna and ASAP Rocky's baby being named RZA after legendary producer and rapper of the Wu-Tang Clan. Fuck, it's getting late.
Dick eating or homage?
I think homage. I think for sure, because ASAP is named after Rakim. ASAP Rocky is named after Rakim.
Like his actual name?
ASAP Rocky's real name is Rakim.
That's dope. I did not know that.
Yeah. So I think that it was just it was just homage for sure. Now I don't know if I would name my child after anybody else, but like that, because that's a tough thing. Like I'm not gonna go into that, but yeah.
I feel like when you're on that level, because this is how I look at it. Like naming your child after a famous person is kind of lame, but there's also a lot of people that are named after famous figures.
Yeah,
like whoever their mom might have been a fan of the Breakfast Club, or the Golden Girls or whatever, and they named their child like that. So I mean, it's not outlandish. I just think it's funny because it's RZA. Yeah, which is like, it's got to be an abbreviation.
You said those letters could not exist like that.
They just don't. You know,
this nigga admonished English.
His name is a sound.
Get out the post. Hey, shout out to Riri and ASAP. He fuck with y'all, man. This nigga, he said. Hey,
he named after a muffled sneeze.
Oh man,
shit.
Fuck, I don't know nobody ever talk about anything that I do like that.
I hope they do.
Nah. Janet Jackson's recent performance, did you see it? Yeah, she did a thug dizzle. She did a thug dizzle, man. She did a thug dizzle. That's really about it. The Lakers played tonight. I don't know if they won or not. I'm not gonna spoil it. This podcast is being recorded on Thursday. Damn, it's getting late. I can't talk. This podcast is being recorded. I said recorded. What the fuck is wrong with me?
New York.
This podcast is being recorded on the Thursday, the 18th. So I haven't looked to check the score, but I know the Lakers are playing.
Go home and practice our British accents from last week.
Did we? Do you want to try it or something? Did you? This nigga Fred went home and practiced his British accent to shit.
I did.
This nigga ain't even here. This nigga got hurt. This nigga hurt himself.
That's what he gets. Sports are for watching, not playing. For all you non-athletes.
Oh shit. I think that is about it though for this episode. It was fun overall. It was a lot of good stuff. I'm gonna have to fix some things, but it was a good episode, man. It was a real good episode. Did I talk about this? These are some facts that I didn't get a chance to cover. GPT in Chat GPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer, and supposedly Jalen Rose is the original Jalen.
Like the first person to be named Jalen.
Apparently apparently that's the first Jalen. I mean, it sounds, because Jalen is such a common name now.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to like imagine there not being in the history of the world, which is probably not. It's probably like the first Jalen in a long time in America.
I ain't gonna lie. It doesn't sound outlandish to me, only because certain names have a modern connotation to it. Like, it just sounds like you was named after the 2000s. Yeah. Or it sounds like you was named, like nobody's naming their daughters Gertrude.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But as far as like Kaylani and my daughter's name is Lulani. Just like them type of sounds, that it just sounds more modern. So Jalen sounds like a name that came about late 90s, early 2000s, which I feel like is around the time that Jalen Rose was pretty, I don't know,
popular.
Yeah,
maybe so.
Right?
Maybe so. I mean, he played in the 90s. And maybe the 2000s. I don't know Jalen Rose's basketball career.
I feel like the people that were young enough to watch him and then subsequently idolize him, would have been just getting old enough to have kids around, around that time. So that, I mean, it sounds like it's a weird flex, but okay.
Yeah. You're the first of your name.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess.
I don't know how you could fact check that.
There's been a long line of Freds. I just want to let you know.
Oh yeah.
This nigga is like Fred number 17 million. You line all y'all up, y'all will kick everybody's ass.
Bro, I try to Google myself. It's really depressing. It's a lot of
us. Man. Yeah, man. I'm not gonna say your last name because I don't want people to dox you.
You can Google me now though, for sure.
Just saying. Oh, why? What?
But it pops up now.
Right. That shit fire. That shit fire.
Google me, bitch.
That's how you know it's late, man. We've been doing this for a minute. All right. It's some other stuff that we've been doing this for a minute, man. It's time to go. It's time to get it. What do you have a fact before we end it out?
I did bring a fact. And it was a general fact that I came about actually quite naturally. So my fact is that I actually had a lot of facts. It was like a chain of facts that just popped up because I kept on clicking on new links. But the initial fact is that 81% of moms eat off of their children's plate if they have children younger than 18 years old. Why that like
I'm just admiring the facts, nigga. Keep on talking.
I mean, it's useless, but
it's so useless.
I only came around because
this nigga took potentially useless to the extreme.
That's my favorite part. Like, potentially useless. This is absolutely useless. But if you're a parent out there that finds yourself eating the scraps off your kid's plate, you are not alone. There was not a lot of data on dads, more just like speculation and because that's what I looked up, is how many dads eat off their kids' plate. Or like, is that a thing?
Oh shit, it's hot.
But yeah, my daughter has some chicken nuggets like just sitting out, and I bought them. I bought them like a different brand because the last brand of chicken nuggets she had were trash. But she ate like a bite of them, and there was 3 of them on the plate, and I was just like, those look perfectly fine. And I had food in my hand that I was about to eat, but the chicken nuggets were sitting right there. So I just ate them, and then I was like, I wonder, like, if this is this a thing? Like, people just do this shit.
Yeah.
And they definitely do.
Okay. All right.
For dads, they call you the garbage pail.
Just saying. Okay. That shit fire. That fact is fire. I like this shit. Oh shit! I don't know if I can top that, bro. I'm gonna have to hit you with a be real, goddamn. Oh shit!
Whether you think you can.
34 comes before 35. Get
I got other facts about eating dirt and other shit too.
What about eating dirt? I'm interested now. Hell, the podcast been this long.
Okay, so did it go away? Is it still on my Google?
Oh man, this nigga said
there was a whole name for it. I don't even know how I got to this part, but geophagia geophagy is the intentional practice of eating earth or soil-like substances such as clay, chalk, or termite mounds.
What? Yeah.
And apparently it could be a sign of iron deficiency.
Hey, bro.
You start craving dirt, you might be low on iron.
What? All right.
But,
I don't even got the energy.
Iron pills are over the counter though. Like they not free. It's dirt. But
let me see. I got a fact right here somewhere. Let me see. Let me see what I got because I be talking about some shit. All right, so fuck, I really don't even want to do this as a fact. Maybe that's not a fact. Damn, I'm acting like y'all. I'm acting like y'all. Damn, that's not a fact.
That's not a fact.
All right, let me just pull something out my ass. The closest star to us, aside from our sun, which is a star, the closest star to us is 2-point-something light years away. That means that when we see it, we're seeing what it was like 2.5 or 2 point however many years ago. So we're seeing it as it was in 2020, 2021.
That's a crazy thought.
Yeah. Anytime you look at any of these stars, you got to kind of think of them like messaging systems or trains, as I like to try to think of it, like where the train leaves that station. This train has already made it. That train is still on the way, and I can't receive whatever is on the train till it gets here. So this freight is however many years old, but that freight is maybe like 100 years old. And so when we look at the sky, we're looking at a mosaic of different points in time.
That's beautiful.
Shit, fire. Hell, even when we look at the sun, we're looking at what was going on 8 minutes ago. That's 8 minute old heat that you feel when that shit be fucking with you. It had 8 whole minutes to cool off, and it's still fucking with you. That's how you know that shit fire. That's how you know that motherfucker's up there going crazy. Yeah. Just sitting in the sky, mad as hell, just going crazy. You want the heat, going crazy.
Oh damn.
Oh shit. If you let your food sit for 8 minutes, I bet it's cool. Hey, the sun, as soon as you go outside some days, be like, bruh, chill. It's okay, we get it. You the sun, bruh. Like, fuck. Hey. Alright, man. That's it. I had to pull that one out my ass. Alright, man.
Damn. Who gonna give out the boxes?
Oh, we ain't got nobody to give out the boxes. You can have the big box. Because that was the most useless fact ever. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Shit.
Oh, wait.
My coach used to tell me, doing all that dribbling, all that unproductive dribbling. The fact was unproductive.
Why coaches all say the same shit?
I don't know. They hurt my feelings. It's all like, damn, it was kind of unproductive. I was doing all that dribbling.
3 times. It took no motion.
It took no motion. Be in the same spot. Like, that unproductive dribbling. God dang, coach, my bad, bro. I thought I would do it something.
Dribble downhill.
All right, man. That's it, man. That's been an episode of All Facts Podcast. We hope that you guys enjoyed this podcast. This is a lengthy one, but hopefully you guys love it. Please be sure to like and subscribe on YouTube. Leave comments if there's anything that you guys heard that you guys want to talk about in the comments. Feel free. I'm not one of those to censor anything. If y'all don't like us, if y'all want to cuss us out, you can post that shit too. I don't care. So yeah, feel free to like, subscribe, comment, share, and support the podcast in any way that you feel pushed to do so. Because we most certainly appreciate it. You joke. This nigga working on his Morant.
I'm on my Ja Morant shit.
You feel me?
Like, yeah.
I think somebody made a song out of that.
They should.
They made a song about Ja Morant pulling out.
I want to be famous to be in a rapper song. Famous enough to be in a rapper song.
Yeah.
I just don't know what I have to do because I can't.
You don't know what you have to do to what?
I said because I can't hoop. So
I mean,
it's always either like athletes or like Instagram models.
Yeah, hoopers and rappers have this weird thing where they all want to be each other. They have this weird quasi body dysmorphia
Wait,
thing.
did you see Lil Baby playing ball?
No. He hooping? Lil Baby. I thought you were talking about Da Baby or Lil Baby.
No,
Damn.
Da Baby would probably be funnier, bro. He looked like he's don't shoot me though. But no, yeah.
Oh shit!
Are you trying to end the podcast?
Yeah, man. We out this thing. We out this thing, man. I can't even talk straight no more. We gonna get it right next time, man. We had a couple of technical difficulties. That ain't important. This has been the episode of All Facts Podcast. We appreciate y'all as always. We love y'all. We was in. Now we out. Peace.